welcome all, and welcome back to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Vanciolo.
Cody, it was a excellent basketball week for men and women. First, we got to talk about the women, man. The women's basketball team finally got back on track, getting two big wins during the week. Let's break those down first.
Yeah, so the women's team ended a 5 game skid last week with 2 wins at home. The first game was on Wednesday against Cincinnati, who was a very familiar opponent to Iowa State and had been a team that was probably like the worst loss up to that point. It was just a really
Hmm.
bad loss out of Cincinnati. But you had the return matchup at home Coliseum, and this game was the Jada Williams show. There is no doubt about it. Jada Williams, for one reason or another, came out with just a fire I had not seen out of the women's basketball team since Cyhawk, and it 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 was huge in Iowa State's 93 to 68 win. Jada Williams put up 44 points, which is I think the second highest scoring total of any Iowa State women's basketball player behind her teammate Audie Crooks' 47 points earlier in the season. But this 44 points came at a much more efficient rate than what she had previously as her high as an Iowa State Cyclone at 28 when she was not as efficient for this Cincinnati game. Jada Williams was 15 of 22 from the floor, which is a much higher efficiency. And she also contributed 6 threes, shooting at 60% from the perimeter. 60%, and had 8 assists to 2 turnovers. So you can just tell, like during the skid, one of the main issues was Jada Williams was just not able to take care of the basketball. But in this game particularly, she did a really good job, and she also contributed 2 steals as well. So, and then outside of so overall, this was Jada Williams like coming out party. This was like what you wanted to see out of Jada Williams when you got her in the transfer portal
Hmm.
from Arizona. And then also beside her, you have Audie Crooks contribute 24 points off of 9 to 15 shooting, so a little better. I think I was kind of getting back to what Audie Crooks was doing earlier in the year. And then you also had 11 points from Ariana Jackson. And the Ariana Jackson thing was huge because I believe this was her first game back from her injury that she suffered against Cincinnati 2 weeks ago. So, and you could tell, I think you could tell from Ariana Jackson being back, there was a different intensity with this team, and the just everything worked so much better with Ariana Jackson back on the floor.
Yeah, the offense looked a lot more fluid with all those three back, and I'm really excited to see where this takes this women's team to finish the season.
Yep. And then off the bench, one thing that was a struggle for Iowa State during the losing skid was rebounding and getting out in transition. But Iowa State did a much better job at limiting second chance opportunities and getting out in transition on the offense. You had 8 rebounds from Ariana Jackson, but you also off the bench had 7 rebounds each from Reese Beatty and Evangelia Polk, both contributing 7 rebounds. So really nice to see that we are able to really just get on the glass and be as aggressive, if not more aggressive. And one of the big stats from the game was Evangelia Polk had 5 offensive boards, so she was really getting that hustle. And it kind of reminds me a lot of freshman year Taman Lipsey, where you didn't necessarily have the offense like go well, but you could just get the hustle and the defense from Polk, and that's exactly what you want out of her. She also put in 4 steals on the day, so really good effort. Like this was probably the best game I've seen out of the team since Northern Iowa, and it was nice that you got your win back against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean it's a great. These two wins are a great building block to build on, and definitely going into the meat of their schedule, we'll see if the women can keep this up.
Yep. And
Now
then
we're gonna. Oh, go
go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention though. So before we hop to the men's team, we also talk about the Arizona game, and this one has a little bit of poetry because I mentioned Arizona earlier, and Jada Williams. Jada Williams' old squad was the Arizona Wildcats, and she came over. So it was kind of a family reunion, if you will, call it that way, for Jada Williams and the Arizona Wildcats. But this game, I said this. This was probably the wildest and funniest like women's basketball game I had ever been to. So before we get to the funny parts, we got to talk about the team, and this was a well-rounded effort offensively by Iowa State. You had Jada Williams put up 19 points, Audie Crooks with 17 points, Ariana Jackson with 15 points. Then off the bench, you had Sydney Harris with 14 points and Alyssa Williams with 12 points. And then I think, yeah, you also saw like, and this is where Evangelia Polk, I mentioned her name, she got inserted into the starting lineup and she did her part. 7 points and 5 rebounds, but her defense was huge. And I mentioned her defense. Back to reference the Cincinnati game, the first time around, Iowa State played Cincinnati. Maya Perry was put up 26 in that win over Iowa State. Eventually, a Polk in the return game only allowed Maya Perry to score 2 points. So that's exactly the defensive prowess and presence that you want. And she continued to do that as Iowa State as a whole. I mean, the turnovers were a thing that they were equal numbers, so they were pretty equivalent. But I felt like with Iowa State, when they turned the ball over, they had more opportunities to get out in transition, and that's what you wanted to see. But yeah, so overall, a well-rounded offensive game for Iowa State. But this is the funny part. Tyler, do you want to guess how many Arizona players fouled out of this game?
Hmm. I'm gonna go with what, three?
Go higher.
All five?
Uh, yeah. So there were no. Okay, so Arizona had played 10 players, and 5 of them fouled out of the game. And here's the thing,
Oh wow.
and one of them was on 4. So Arizona just throughout this entire game was just in foul trouble. And these, like, I think maybe some of these were tick attack fouls, but for the most part, Iowa State was just attacking Arizona defense, and they drew a lot of fouls, and they got to the line a lot. Now, yeah, granted, the free throw shooting has been the weakest, like probably a weak point for this women's team, which I'm surprised
Mm-hmm.
considering I'm used to this Iowa State women's team shooting well from the free throw line, but they got to the rack a lot. They had 31 attempts, only shot 65% for the free throw line, but they did put in 43% shooting from three. Ariana Jackson went 4-10 from three. You also had Sydney Harris shooting 3 of 5 from the perimeter off the bench, which I personally think is better because they had Sydney Harris start the game against Cincinnati, but she wasn't as effective. So I look at Sydney Harris as kind of like like Curtis Jones whenever he comes off the bench and he gets you offense. So that's kind of like I like the fact that we went back to her coming off the bench. It just gives you that offensive spark. But I mean, being there, it's like I think I lost my voice by the end of it because of the amount of like people that fouled out. We were all like everybody that I was with, we were all waiting to see who the next person to foul out. That at that point, the game was just so out of reach. We were just waiting to see who fouls out
betting on
first.
who would betting on who would like, all right, let's see. Ah, I told you.
Yeah, no, yeah. So we, I think we lost the voice by the end of it because we were doing the right left chants, and it was just that was hilarious. And even like the players, the Arizona players, I love when they just embrace that because I think one of the players looked to us and she gave us like a smile as right before she sat down because she knew what was happening. So I can appreciate the fact that they had a sense of humor. And but yeah, overall, really big, like big week for the women's team just to kind of get back into. Um, like the Big 12 title race is probably it's out of the picture. So you're
Yeah,
looking more towards perhaps like getting a better seed in the Big 12 tournament and then getting like you're really shoring up your resume. Like, because I think your non-con, you had a pretty decent non-con. So if you could just really take care of business, win the games you're supposed to, you're as long as you're above 500 in the Big 12, you should make the tournament.
yeah, you definitely should.
Yep. And to give a quick outline of what the rest of the season looks like for the ladies, Wednesday they will travel to Lubbock, Texas, to take on number 21 Texas Tech, who is 20-2 and 7-2 on the year. So a really impressive year out of the Lady Raiders. And then after that, you get some pretty favorable games. You host Central Florida. You then take a road trip out to Utah to take on the Utes and BYU. You then
Mm.
host, and then you do host Kansas State, and Kansas State isn't the same Kansas State as years past. They aren't the same team, but I will have this two game like these two games circled versus Arizona State because they've got the head coach from who was previously at Grand Canyon, Molly Miller, who's got Arizona State to their best start in I believe a long time. They're 17-4, so I'm excited for that. And then you're on the road at number 12 TCU. You
Mm.
host, and then senior day you host Oklahoma State, and then you're at Kansas State to end the regular season. So you have two more opportunities to get a ranked win. And now I think with this past week, that Texas Tech game, I was scared during the losing skip, but now it's like you have a fighting chance. I think you have a fighting chance to beat Texas Tech. And
Especially if you play like the Arizona game and you spread out the scoring. Yeah, they can definitely beat anybody if you play balance like that.
mhm. Yeah, and then you just like as long as you're able to really just take care of the basketball, that will be something to look forward to. But yeah, I think the confidence is back with the women's team, and I'm glad that they were able to get through this. And I think maybe this was a challenge that like was tough, and I was disappointed. But I mean, you think about it now, you figured out how to play without Addie Brown because I think for like you knew what you got out of Addie Brown, and she provided you so much. So it was tough for the ladies to really adjust to playing basketball without her. But I think this may be for the better because now you're seeing the team is challenged and forced to play different styles of offense.
Yep, and that will grow you as a team, especially when she comes back. If everybody on the team is contributing, so we do have
Hmm.
a comment by Cyclone Meatball. He said Tech is good, but Hilton should be popping for that one.
To clarify, the Texas Tech game for on the women's side is at Lubbock, and that's the only time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so
gotcha.
it's in Lubbock, so that's gonna be a much more challenging. Like it'll be more challenging than it would have been if it was at Hilton. I think it's safe to say after the last time the ladies Raiders, the Texas Tech visited Hilton Coliseum. I have some
Mm-hmm.
friends who went there. I don't think they want to come back anytime soon.
Right. Nah, yeah, they definitely don't want to come back
Yeah,
anytime soon.
yeah. So, going from the women's basketball team, we go to the men's team who also won two straight, and I mean, they got back into winning ways after losing two straight at Kansas and at Cincinnati. They win two straight, and they won it in very convincing fashion. So, first, I got to talk about the game against Central Florida. This was a, or well, we could talk about Oklahoma State. Had it up. Uh,
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we'll go back to UCF.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So
yeah, man, I mean,
yeah, so
here,
Oklahoma State. This
sorry
was
about
a
that. But
okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, so this game was very weird. I mean, this game got bumped up from 3 p.m. Central to 2 p.m. Central because of the snowstorm that was going on throughout the South. So they bumped up the game an hour. And then I also saw Oklahoma State put out that this game was free admission because of said snowstorm. So they were trying to get that place as packed as possible because obviously it's a top 10 Iowa State team coming into their building. So and you knew Oklahoma State was definitely looking
Mm-hmm.
to get a signature win because they started out the season 9-0, but had gone 5 of 5 since. So they were in need of a signature win, and this was a really pretty good opportunity for them to get a signature win because Stillwater has been notable for being a house of horrors of sorts for Iowa State. Gallagher, Iowa has been a place where Iowa State has struggled in years past. So, and then coming into the game, Iowa State was like a 9.5, 10 point favorite. So I was kind of skeptical of that because of the history of Iowa State playing in Stillwater. But the first half proved otherwise because they came out guns a blazing and they looked like the team that we saw at Mackey Arena in the second half. That was like the best performance I had seen out of Iowa State since that game.
Yeah, Cody, I'm not gonna lie, like when we started off with that 16-4 run, like I knew it was curtains. It
Mm-hmm.
was curtains when I knew that Killian Torres was making open threes. I was like, okay, I think he might have passed that wall. And like, don't you also think that now because of the emergence of these young guards that Tamer can finally play free? Because you looked at him, he looked probably as fast as he has this entire season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely had a great day at the free throw line, 4 of 9. 13-5. A very quiet 13-5. Torrey had put some great minutes. 2 of 4 from three, 3 of 7 from the field, and obviously the big point man Milan Momcilovic again, man. Nine nine 3 point 9 3 point attempts, 5 made ones. 8 of 8 from the 3 point line, 29-7. So Milan continues his historic year from beyond the 3 point line.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this thing, like, basically, like, I think it was kind of a saying for Iowa State. It's just you just knocked them out in the like. I was. This is kind of like if you're watching like UFC and you knock a guy out within like 2 minutes of like the first round or something, or if like or it's like Mike Tyson knocking down the dude in like 8 seconds or whatever. It's like it's basically was watching like Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. That was the first half. So
Definitely.
yeah, I mean they got up what they had a 30 point lead at halftime, and then there were some things, and I don't know if this was like more of like just maybe you kind of let your foot off the gas or whatever. Oklahoma State started to find the shots, but the lead got whittled down to less like to like 9 points, but it never felt like Iowa State was going to lose that game at like
Mm,
because I mean, I will admit things got a bit sloppy in there. There were a lot of like Tam Listy had quite a bit of turnovers. He had 4 turnovers in the day. I think most of those, if not all of them, came in the second half. Iowa State wasn't making shots. Oklahoma State was starting to make shots, and I think that second half is just something that I would need to get ironed out. And obviously, there's discourse about it because, like, yeah, it's kind of you are kind of disappointed when you only win by 13 when you were up by 30 at halftime. But I wonder if that point if you're TJ, like just have the guys try not to get injured or whatever. So I wonder if you laid off a little bit just so they don't get injured, you don't lose a guy because obviously how grueling like your back half of the Big 12 schedule is.
right. And it's not really worth it to burn all your quality guys out.
Hmm.
Obviously, Dominicus played he struggled a bit in this game. He did get 2 points, 2 rebounds, had a really nice dunk. Um,
Uh-huh.
Jamarian Bateman struggled on the offensive side. He did get a big steal at the end, but he's just something that a guy that he can bring in solid minutes. Nate Heisey had a great game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. So even if he doesn't can't contribute on the scoreboard, he was able to contribute offensively or defensively.
Hmm. Yeah. So I mean, this was like a needed like road game, and I think you feel pretty good about it. And um, I mean, I think this like the fact that you had that horrible of a second half. I think Iowa State will like TJ will find a way to use it as a
Oh
real force
yeah,
for them to get better. Like I think that's what's gonna be like knowing this team, knowing this Iowa State team, they're gonna use it to find a way to get better. And I think it obviously is disappointing, but like I think it's for the better. So like what you can and can't do like when you get into that back half of the schedule.
no, completely agree. And Cyclone people gives it a good point. Guys get a win and will have a chip on their shoulder, hopefully going into the tough stretch. Yeah, I mean, you have what a good 4 games that you can rack up on before you play KU on
Hmm.
Valentine's Day. So I mean, let's take a look at these standings right now. We're gonna take a look at that, and really, it's just like this Cody, this is the best conference in college basketball,
Hmm.
like bar none. You see this, you see Arizona, who has a huge game tonight against BYU, the third place team, who's 7-0. Texas Tech gets a huge win over Houston, which we'll go over in the Big 12 second. You have BYU getting a win over Utah, Houston, KU just putting B to A to K State. Um, we have to well, man that we got, when we talk about that game was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then there's Iowa State. So you see
Hmm.
these 6 teams like separated by 2 games, and it just
Yep.
seems like, man, if you lose if you lose a game, then it's like it stinks. But like basically now, I think if you're an Iowa State fan, I think you really now should just focus on seeding because the way that this conference is going, as much as I would love to win a regular season title, I don't know if it's going to happen because, I mean, yeah, Arizona at some point has to lose, but like the way they're playing, they might not lose for a bit.
Yeah, and I mean it. I think there was something like we knew like for the I mean for the couple years that like for the most part like Houston had been basically running the league and then I think a lot of
Hmm.
people were wondering like who can like run like who can like give Houston a run like out like who can like uh potentially be in the way Houston like running the league, and it turns out that Arizona is exactly that. Yeah, they're off to uh, like this is like the unanimous number one team in the country. There's no doubt about it. Like they are right now, in my eyes, the number one overall team in the country. So, but I mean, if we're talking about seeding, just just looking at the Big 12, I feel like there is a sharp drop off from like from the top six. Like once you get into once you get past Kansas and Iowa State, there's a drop off to Central Florida and then West Virginia, and then there's a little bit of a drop off. You get to TCU, Colorado, and then I'd say Colorado, and then the middle pack of the conference is just it feels very weak. And if you're looking to try to get like a seventh or eighth team in the NCAA tournament from the Big 12, you would have to look at UCF being the team to do so because I think they're probably the best team for that situation. And you can't have UCF just collapse if you want to get like more than just the top six. Obviously, the top six in the Big 12 can all go to the Sweet 16, go to the Elite Eight. You even have a couple of them that can win the national title. Arizona can do that. I think BYU could, Houston could. But I'm just looking at this conference and like, man, you have a clear top of the conference and a clear basement of the conference. But
Hmm.
looking at that middle, it is not looking. It is ugly.
The medium middle is ugly. Like there's some losses to be had in here,
Yeah.
and I think
I,
like these middle 4 or 5 teams that are right below Iowa State are pesky teams. So if you don't play your best, they could come up and
yeah.
beat you.
Yep. And I mean, we could probably talk like I think we could talk more about like each of these teams when we get like in our Big 12 segment because
Yeah,
boy oh boy, I've got some things I wanted I think there's a lot good deep diving you can do because I was able to watch like a good amount of the Big 12 games.
same. But let's before we do that, let's go and talk about bracketology, where there is the bracketology um, thing right here. So we're gonna take a look at this, see what Joe Lenardi has to say, and we're to take a look at it right now. And it was just up. It was up. This was updated as of I believe.
Yeah, as of what was that? The 23rd, which is Friday. So you're looking at obviously Arizona being the number one overall team by like no surprise, nobody's surprised. And then you've got your number one seeds, Arizona, Michigan, uh, UConn, I believe, and then Duke would be the other one. But looking at each of the
Yep.
yeah, UConn and Duke. Okay, I'm not surprised. Okay, so just seeing where everybody is landing. I mean, just see Virginia Tech. You got San Diego State is solid. I mean, some matchups like early on. I don't. This won't be indicative of what you could see, but yeah, I think the number one seeds are starting to establish themselves, and like the teams who can get a number one seed, those are starting to get ironed out a bit. And I guess
Mm.
for and then I gotta see if you can find Iowa State anywhere.
I think Iowa State is,
Let's
and
see.
let's see. I'm gonna like
So I'll take okay a three seed. So this would be was this the
really a
eight?
3 seed.
Wait. What region is this?
This would be in the East region, so they'd be
Okay.
playing in St. Louis.
Okay. So I can probably understand like it's I would personally have Iowa State as more of a two seed. I think they're more likely to get a two but generally like Iowa State like even in this position would find themselves around a two or a three seed. But I wonder like But this doesn't take into account the Oklahoma State game.
Well,
So
yeah, or Purdue because Purdue is right above us. But I think this was on Friday before they lost to Illinois.
yeah.
So
This is before Iowa State beat Oklahoma State and Purdue had lost to Illinois, and obviously Texas Tech will the Texas Tech will get a bump because of winning against Houston.
oh yeah, no, I just you look at some of these matchups, um, just based off of this. You look at the possible round of 32 matchups. You see in the East bracket, you see Kentucky facing off against the two seed Purdue. Iowa State would play against Louisville. So both
Mhm.
Kentucky teams facing a Big Ten team, and then Louisville facing Iowa State, maybe possible future conference opponents. You have and then talk about a classic Sweet 16 game. Arkansas and Texas Tech facing off again in the round of 32. That was
Mhm.
such a great game. And then St. John's going up against Florida. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I saw I don't know who had, but there are a couple of bracketology things that I kind of had a keen eye for. I saw one from Projection Sports by Tyler Markley that would have Iowa that would have Cyhawk as a hypothetical second round matchup in the Midwest region, Oklahoma City.
Oh baby.
The
Oh man, put Delta S them in the tournament right before we go to Chicago. Oh yeah,
uh-huh.
give me that all
Yep.
day.
And then there's another. So I saw there's another bracketology from Nick Bateman, um, who had Iowa State as a 2 seed and would be matched up against Lipscomb in the first round. So a familiar face for Iowa State fans in the East
I
region.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing a good amount of teams. So yeah, Iowa State bouncing back and forth between a 2 and a 3 seed, and that's where I would. I think I would like to lean more a 2 seed, probably that last 2 seed. I would probably have them at most likely.
I mean, look at the murderer's row that the Midwest would be. You have Michigan, that's a 1 seed. Houston, that's a 2 seed. Illinois as a 3 seed. Vandy as a 4 seed, and Kansas as a 5 seed.
Kansas as a
So
5 seed would be dangerous.
I'm
Uh,
telling you, if Kansas is a 5 seed in the Midwest, I think they can make it. They'll probably will make it at least to the Elite Eight, if not the Final Four,
oh yeah,
because
it,
I think they can beat Michigan. They can beat Michigan. They can beat Illinois, and Houston. We'll have to see. I like
that would be. I
a
think that would be the Elite Eight matchup possibly.
oh man, Houston versus KU in Chicago. Man,
Hmm.
that'd be nuts.
Yeah, and then I think So going back to and then just some of the other ones too that I would be interested in seeing. Yeah, you have Iowa as an 8 seed along with UCF. Okay, so Leonard did have UCF as a pretty good as an 8 seed, which I think would be crucial to have just kind of like a team in that 8 to 9 seed range.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then okay, I don't know. Part of me, because there's a part of me that kind of hates Duke, but it would be fun and funny for me to be able to watch, watch Iowa and then imagine against Duke. I
And
don't know.
cheer on for Duke.
That would be a weird world, but I'm like, okay, whatever.
Oh, I don't hate Duke that much. That I would. I know. I
Uh-huh.
don't hate Duke
Yep.
too much to cheer for Iowa. Oh hell
Yep.
no.
And then there's a hypothetical second round matchup between Arkansas and Texas Tech. And I remember how that matchup went last season. Oh, that was one of the best matches
That
the
was in the
20.
Sweet 16, right?
I believe so.
That was a great game.
That was fun. That was such a fun game to watch. And then BYU. I think BYU they can make a pretty good run because if especially if
Ooh.
they reach that if they can get to that ceiling that they know that I think they're capable of, they would be a team I would not want to be matched up against.
So hypothetically, they played Nebraska, who in the Sweet 16, right?
Yeah. Wait, no, that could be. Let me see. That
Or
could
would that
be.
be the Elite Eight?
I think that would be Elite Eight.
Okay, but that would be a fun matchup,
Yeah.
man.
But I mean, and also in that region, Miami of Ohio, out of the MAC, they've been going.
Ooh,
They've
I
and
could see them upsetting North Carolina.
oh, I yeah, that would be a that would be such a story for Miami of Ohio. That they've been one of the best like mid majors out of, and like they're probably the best like mid major. I don't consider Gonzaga as a mid major because they've been
They're not.
yeah the West Coast Conference outside of Gonzaga is a mid major. Gonzaga is they're on their own tier.
Right.
So yeah, um, the, this is part of the fun part. Well, like now you're out of January. You are now going to be like you're gonna get to February, and I think this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean, but and now like this is going to be the time where everybody is going to be focused on seeding, because honestly, like at this point, like it's like as much like you sort of know who is probably going to be in the race
Uh,
for the Big 12 regular season championship, and
mhm.
honestly, like but obviously, like you can't really give up on it, mainly because there could be you could have one bad week and then you're like in fifth.
Yeah,
So I'm also looking for the chaos that could ensue, because I mean you want to talk about chaos. Let's as we go now into a look across the Big 12 segment. We got to take a look at Arizona's hell week, because it's
oh,
coming up and it's coming hot.
oh, yeah. So Arizona, they've been for the most part they've been coasting by relatively. Like their schedule has been very favorable for them. Their conference like they started conference play at Utah and they won by basically 20. They beat the crap out of Kansas State, putting up 101. They beat TCU by 13. They take care of Arizona State in a rivalry game, and then UCF. That UCF game that was a pretty interesting game. And I think that says more about what UCF is capable of than Arizona, just because of how close that game was for the most part. And then they just mopped the floor. They mopped the floor with Wes Miller and the Cincinnati Bearcats, and then they win by what 80 like
35.
35 against West Virginia. So Arizona have been not just beating the teams they're supposed to, they are wiping the floor with them.
They sure are, man. It's been
I mean,
it's been
and
hell of
then
impressive.
I mean, obviously, I think a lot of eyes are gonna be on the phenomenal freshman Koa Pete. But I mean, one guy I'm looking at is Krivas. That dude,
Mm-hmm.
he's found form. He put up a double double in this game, 11 in the game against West Virginia, 11 points and 12 rebounds, and the consistency was something that I think Arizona was looking for him to have because he had been inconsistent for like a decent chunk. Like he would put up like double like 14 point. He put up 14 points against Alabama, but only pulled up two against like Abilene Christian, and then he would and then put up 13 against San Diego State, only put up 5 against Bethune Cookman. But now he's put up 12 against UCF, 9 against Cincinnati, 12. Or no, that's no. I'm looking at rebounds. Uh, yeah. So he put up 17, 17, 11 in his last game points wise. So you're starting to see him round into form, and that's a huge thing. And then another guy I'm looking at for Arizona is Braden Burries. He put up
Mm-hmm.
22 points in this game, and then to go along with that, he also had 7 assists. So it is just an overall like entire team effort. There's not a notable weakness I see out of this Arizona team.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been really impressive how well this Arizona team's been playing. But let's really take a look at the schedule, man. Obviously, you looked at these next, what's it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These next 9 games, but really like the 7 games that have ranked opponents. They start off, man, with Big Monday, man. And really, if you really look at the Big Monday schedule, it's basically all Big 12 the next 3 to 4 weeks, and it's absolute cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Like it starts off tonight against number 13 BYU on the road. Man, this is going to be a raucous atmosphere at the Marriott Center tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking at this as like we know like I think like the discourse for Arizona is obviously the conference schedule has been that great, but I mean when you put up a non-con schedule like Arizona has, winning against Florida, UCLA at UConn, and then you smoke Auburn and Alabama. I mean it's hard to go against Arizona, and but I mean yeah, BYU there that's that is going to be a fun matchup. AJ DeBansta and Cole Pete, two of the best freshmen in the country, and it's crazy how we have like such good freshmen within the Big 12, and that's not to forget Darren Peterson and Kingston Flemings out of Houston, who I personally think Kingston Flemings doesn't get talked about enough.
He doesn't, and he had a hell of a game on Saturday against
Yep,
Texas Tech.
yep. But yeah, the Arizona BYU for Big Monday. I'm definitely tuning into that because I'm lucky enough that this is at a good time where I don't have to worry about the next day because for me, I don't have class till noon tomorrow, so beautiful.
Hey, let's go.
Oh, I'll
That's
be up watching
clutch.
that. Yep, but yeah. I mean, we mentioned it. We just mentioned it already. We got to talk about yeah, Texas Tech, Houston. What
Oh
a
baby, what a game.
I think this was probably game of the year. This is game of the year.
Yeah, my goodness. We're gonna go take a look at that and take a look across the Big 12 like we usually do.
Yeah. Kingston, yeah, we mentioned Kingston Flemings. 42 points for that for the freshman. This is I believe the most that a freshman has scored under Kelvin Sampson in a very long time. I think it was like 30 years ago. Last like
Yes.
so yeah, 42 points for Kingston Flemings, 8 of 10 from the free throw line with 6 assists. Uh, and he was doing everything he could to keep up with JT Toppin from Texas Tech. Because JT Toppin also put in a pretty nice game. 31 points, 12 rebounds, 7 of 8 shooting from the free throw line. And those rebounds included 6 offensive rebounds. So he was in there against Houston. He was in there being as physical, if not more physical, than Houston. Because one of the big things that helped Texas Tech win this game was the offensive rebounding. And when it came to that end of the when it came to that end, Texas Tech absolutely dominated Houston. 21-11 was the offensive rebound discrepancy, and that clearly helped Texas Tech get second chance opportunities, and they were able to convert a good amount of those into points. And I mean, this was not even the best game. Like this was I'd say a down game for Christian Anderson. He only had 12 points, but he also contributed 9 assists in this game. So he was still a factor even with kind of the disappointing game. And another thing that was big in this game was JT Toppin and Christian Anderson both played 40 minutes. They played the entire game. So those two were gassed by the time the game ended.
Definitely. And I think the difference in this game was the contributions of Jalen Petty and Donovan Atwell both chipping in 18 points. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Donovan Atwell adding 2 assists to his total, which I think that might have put Texas Tech over the top in this game.
Yeah. And then yeah, and then, but I like what I said. I think yeah, that was a big part. But I will ultimately look at this game, and the biggest thing I look at was the offensive rebounding because the glass that was the key factor for Texas Tech to win this game. Like that'll be something I'll talk about because that shows that offensive rebounding, those second chance points are huge, and especially in a tight game like this, you want to be able to get as many second chance points as possible if you're the offense, and for the defense, you
Right.
don't want to allow second chance points. So yeah, that's the tail, and yeah, Texas Tech gets a big win at home, and they end the road winning streak for the Houston Cougars, who had previously been 2 years undefeated on the road. Their last loss coming at Allen Fieldhouse against Kansas in 2024. So they
Wow.
so yeah, that domination on the road. I don't know if you're going to see that for any time soon. You're not seeing that anytime soon. But I mean, yeah, this win puts Texas Tech right into the race. Like Like I think about it, maybe a month ago before that Duke game, I didn't have as much confidence because obviously they weren't as deep and they weren't really able to get like the big contributions. But yeah, now you're seeing it. Texas Tech 16-4, 6-1 of the Big 12, and they're right there. They're right there in the race.
They sure are. And I mean, you look at that, and then we're gonna. And this was like definitely game of the year, in the conference so far. We're gonna take a
Mhm.
look at some of the other scores that happened on Saturday, of course,
Yeah,
in the conference.
and
You
I think
see,
you'll start. We might just BYU getting
yes,
the Holy War round two. BYU wins 91-78, and AJ DeBansta put in a phenomenal performance. 43 points in this game. I just I don't know what else to say. The dude is what more can AJ DeBansta do?
it's
There's
insane, man.
yeah, it's just and then you had DeBansta led the way with 43 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. But you also had 21 points coming from Rob Wright the third with 21, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, and then Richie Saunders had another quiet night in the Holy War. 12 points, only 1 of 5 shooting from three, which is very odd.
Yeah, Utah was able to hold them from check in the 3-point line, and you see that with those big three, they scored 76 of BYU's 91 points tonight. So
Mm-hmm.
those that's we're sure to see that those were the big three
Yep.
on BYU.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, going from that great performance to what was an ass kicking in the second, like late, the Sunflower State Showdown. Kansas goes into the Jayhawks of Kansas go into Manhattan and beat the Kansas State Wildcats 86-62. This game ended on a 27-7 run for the Jayhawks. And boy, oh boy, if the seat wasn't already warm for Jerome Tang, it's getting warmer by the day. It's good
It
lord.
is,
What?
it is, and then to put insult to injury, Melvin Counter Jr. were probably the funniest gif of the year of him
Oh.
hitting the Wabash Cannonball with like 30 plus seconds left,
Yeah.
or what nearly at the end of the game.
Yep. And then what happened at the end of the game as well? Bill Self had like what was it Melvin Council like do not dunk it, and then you just see him go up and dunk that like right at the end of the game to really put the cherry on top. That was hilarious. And then and then this segment going around, and then the beautiful thing in the locker room, you just see I think it was Melvin Council again. He had the belt and he was just putting the belt to the floor, and then the camera turns and you just see Bill Self smiling, and I'm just dying of laughter. That was like that was so hilarious, considering what had like you know even when Bill Self was telling Council to not dunk it, somewhere like in the back of his head he was smiling like he like I have the like no I have the video from Melvin Council Jr. I'm gonna
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get up with this so I want to
yeah
see it.
I got it up yeah here it is. So this is hilarious.
We got big, yeah, yeah,
Bro. Bill Self smiling. That's the cherry on top. And I mean, man. And then our favorite, the one shining moment of Jerome Tang that
Yes.
made the rounds again. That was beautiful. Oh wait, and then wait, hold on. I think hold on. I
Wait, do
also
you have the gif of him doing the Wabash Cannonball?
yeah. I've got it too. Yeah. I've got it right here, right here. Right at the end of the game, right here.
agreed. Kansas is going to win,
though. Dude, this is, I'll admit this. I love Kansas Twitter. They are really funny. They are really funny.
Oh, that is elite level trolling right there. I love that.
Like that is elite. But like, yeah, Bill Self was definitely like. I mean, Bill Self was like, at like that point, like I think he's honestly just enjoying life. When you see him smile like that, he's like he's done everything. Like he's about as straightforward as a coach as you have. But man, when he's enjoying life like that, and obviously, this leads more into like kind of coaching. Do you with Bill Self? I mean, he had that health scare, and he's had the recent years. It looks like he's just starting to enjoy life. He's just
Yeah,
starting to enjoy it all, savor in like these rivalry games because I don't think he'll retire after this year, but I feel like within the next few years, you may see him like retire from coaching in Kansas. And yeah, you can
I
just
can
see
see
it.
it.
So he's enjoying life. But back to the Kansas State side of things, boy, oh boy, it has gone from bad to worse for Jerome Tang. I mean, man, they are 500 on the year, 1-6 in the Big 12. And what do you even do? Here's the thing. This game, there wasn't even Darren Peterson. Darren Peterson didn't even play in this game. This was a rivalry game, and you were supposed to get up for this. And you just let Kansas walk into your building, stomp on your face, take a crap on your carpet, wipe it all over, like they rubbed it all over the floor, and then they just took a piss in your sink.
Like it, like the facts that when Melvin Council Jr. was doing the Wabash Cannonball right by the logo, and
Yeah.
the players didn't even care. It just really shows you how much of a dumpster fire it is in
Oh
Manhattan
yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
It's
and I mean that
nuts.
wasn't the only thing. Floyd Badunga with the
Oh,
piss.
that was disgust. That posterizer
Uh,
was nasty, bro.
yeah, I at that point. Okay, hold on. Yeah, this was okay. Yeah, I got it too. I got the poster as well. Uh, yeah, this thing. Uh, yeah, just this poster right here.
On situations just like this.
Ooh.
Mm. Oh, dude, doesn't that remind you that doesn't remind you of that Shaq poster?
Oh yeah.
Or maybe even like the what was it, the Scottie Pippen one over Patrick Ewing.
Yep.
That's what that reminded me of. But yeah, I don't know if I'd ever want to show my face again on the campus if I had my in-state rival come in and they embarrass like me on my own floor by 24 points. I don't know if I'd ever want to show my face.
Yeah.
What an embarrassing performance.
It's an embarrassing performance by KC.
Nice.
They're down bad right now, Cody. I don't even know that there's really not much. There's not really much you can say
Yeah.
after that.
And the thing is, you can't even fire Jerome Tang because his buyout is ridiculous. Was it like $18 million to buy him out?
Like 18, 19 million, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the alumni and the boosters are probably gonna have to pull that money together and see what they can do.
But the thing is, do you think they want to do that considering you have football right there? And now you have Colin Klein come in to take over for Chris Kleiman. I'm pretty sure those boosters are gonna put that money into football. Like, why would they spend
Yeah.
$18 million just to have a coach go
Yeah.
away when you have that going? So
Yeah. They're
that,
sort of in a pickle right now, so
yeah,
that stinks for them.
yep, yeah. It'd be a damn shame if I was in that situation, but I guess I'll never know. I'll never know what it'd be like to be in this
I
situation.
guess we'll never know.
Yep. And then to cap off kind of the Big 12 on Saturday, Central Florida gets a pretty decent win at Colorado. They win 95-86. TCU beats Baylor 97-90, and boy, Baylor, it is
Ugh.
not.
It's
And
not
then-
looking good at Waco.
It is not looking good. And I mean, with Baylor, this is where do you see them getting because they would have to even for them to even make the tournament, they would have to go on a pretty decent they would have to go on a huge winning run. And this is some of the games that they have. They're at Iowa State, they host BYU, and then they get Louisville for a random non-con game on Valentine's Day, which still surprises me.
Interesting.
But you know what? Maybe you get that non-con win because you didn't really do too much in the non-con outside of beating San Diego State. Then you host Arizona and then at Houston. If Baylor can find a way to get one or two upsets, maybe they have a shot in making the tournament. But right now,
But even then, they would have to go through and probably win at least 3 or 4 games in the tourney in Kansas City.
Yeah. And then our final game, this was the Big 12 After Dark. This was the hot seat bowl between Wes Miller and Bobby Hurley. But Bobby Hurley comes out on top, 82-68, and boy, oh boy, this just frustrates me more as like an Iowa State fan because we
I know.
lose to Cincinnati, and then they go out to the state of Arizona
And get
and
trounced.
by both Arizona and Arizona State.
It's a damn shame, man.
Like, that is ridiculous.
Every time, every freaking time, bro.
Yep. But we move on. We've had a week. We beat the crap out of UCF, and then we win convincingly at Oklahoma State. I think we'll be just fine.
We will be just fine.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for conference wise? Because
not conference wise. I think that we've said it obviously the preview for big Monday, but then real quick, you have another like important game, and we talked about this off air, but what a week of college basketball we're gonna have, and this will lead right into like kind of the national slate. Mentioned tonight, number 1 Arizona and number 13 BYU. Tomorrow, you have number 5 Nebraska traveling to number 3 Michigan in a top 5 battle in the Big Ten. And that is going to be Fred Hoiberg trying to keep the Nebraska Cornhuskers undefeated. So they're hoping that Nebraska ball stays undefeated. And then Friday, you have number 3 Michigan traveling to Eastland to take on number 7 Michigan State. And then on Saturday, College Game Day will be heading to Lawrence, Kansas to take for number 13 BYU at number 14 Kansas. And then Sunday, it is number 9 Illinois at number 5 Nebraska.
So strap in, sickos. It is going to be a great week of basketball. If you're old like I am, try and get your pregame nap in and stay up. And because we got a hell of a game to watch tonight, as a part of Big 12 Twitter, I think I might take a nap after the show so I can watch this game tonight.
That's fair enough. Yeah. And then here's the thing. This is the appetizer to Arizona at BYU. Number 20 Louisville heads to Cameron Indoor to take on number 4 Duke.
That is going to be a game too. I saw that. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
So man.
Now we're like you're deep into conference play. You're gonna get a lot better matchups, and then this has some relations to Iowa State. Purdue, they've lost 2 straight at UCLA, and then against number 11 Illinois.
And so that just goes back into their freshman scoring 47 points on the road. My goodness,
Wagler,
yeah,
Keaton Wagler. I think most people would have thought that this was like some random European kid that they got but no, he's a freshman from Kansas.
Yeah, and I was asking like KU and K-State fans. I'm like, how the hell did you let him get out of Kansas?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Let me see.
But apparently, from a K-State fan that I converse with a lot, he was telling me that Brad Underwood is a Kansas native, and he recruits the state of Kansas a lot, so which makes sense.
Oh, Underwood?
Yeah, Brad Underwood, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looking at where his hometown is, Shawnee, that's not too far from Kansas City, and then that is I'm looking at how far it is to Lawrence. That's about half an hour or so to Lawrence.
We'll see. Maybe that'd be something to look at in the off season. Maybe when the basketball season's over, then when the transfer portal hits, maybe he'll go back home to KU. Who knows?
Maybe.
All right. That is going to be the conclusion to today's show. We went really long today, but there was a lot of stuff we need to cover. So thank you guys for watching. A few things before we go. A big shout out to FanDuel. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Make sure to get your Super Bowl parlays in. We have our Super Bowl matchup, the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots.
The New England Patriots.
See,
you can kill the man, but you can't kill the idea. Everybody thought the dynasty was dead after Tom Brady, Bill Belichick left. Nope. It has been revived. It's basically it's like I don't know, was it the First Order, whatever from Star Wars, to make a reference to that. But this time it's Drake, Mike Rape.
Drake. Yeah.
Drake.
Like this is what people get. Like everybody that was complaining about, oh, the Chiefs win too much. Okay, we got the Chiefs at home. It's the New England Patriots. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for complaining about the Chiefs. Now we have to deal with the Patriots for another 2 decades.
Oh no. Oh no.
Y'all did this, okay? Y'all haters did this, okay? All your fault. Anyways, if you want to find us on Twitter, I can be found at Sci-Fi Guy Tyler. And then Cody can be found at Tierney's Burner if you want to ever talk ball with us.
Yep. Maybe share occasional memes.
Yes, our meme, the meme lord Cody. And then you can follow us on social media at Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Believe in Iowa State. And on Twitch, we can be found at Believe in ISU 2025. So that will be the conclusion of our show. For Tyler Carter.
And for Cody Van Salem.
This is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
Go Cyclones.
Oh, sorry.